Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and we have some breaking news that is extremely bad. Xbox is just dead. There's not a fancy, nice way to say that. They have just alerted employees that Xbox is doing mass layoffs. Studio closures, hundreds, if not thousands of people are basically told, pack your desk and get out. But it's also more than that. At the same time, Xbox is about to start selling. They're going to stop selling pretty much all Xboxes in Europe. They're pulling out of the entire market. The Xbox is so dead. I'm still kind of trying to mentally digest this. This leak just came out. They're telling a bunch of the employees. The employees are talking to the press, and everybody is kind of freaking out. And I wanted to talk about this with you guys because this is just so impossibly strange. The original Xbox came out back when I was in high school, and it was fantastic. The original Xbox, playing Halo, the launch of the Xbox 360, and playing Oblivion and Morrowind, and then finally getting a chance to have chainsaws and Gears of War and stuff like that. Old school Xbox was just such a juggernaut. I never imagined that one day it would just die in a random June with a wet fart tweet, basically. But let's talk, because I think that Xbox will continue to exist for a bit, but this is definitely signaling the end of the end. Let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. I am DreamcastGuy, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, in certain parts of the world, certain areas, there's like these labor rights laws where before you start to fire people, before you start to basically close stuff down, you have to legally warn people. You can't just say, hey, pack your stuff and get out. You actually do have to say, hey, maybe use your insurance, maybe file for unemployment. And that's where a lot of this stuff is coming from, is that these people are getting the legal warnings that stuff is about to basically just be insta-shut. But here it is. Here's the first part of it that honestly is even more mind-blowing. We're going to get into the mass layoffs here in a second, but I want to start with this because this is probably the thing that I feel like really signals how much they've shot themselves in the foot. Microsoft is restructuring its Xbox division across Central Europe, resulting in some Xbox operations ceasing in some regions. Now, they've used this PR speak before. You guys know this. I hate PR speak. I feel like just say it normal. Just say, hey, Xboxes aren't selling. We've decided to stop even trying. So right now, there's huge chunks of the world where you couldn't even hand out Xboxes on a street corner. Most of Asia, lots of China, Europe, a lot of places like Japan and stuff, they're just not buying Xboxes. But historically, Europe was one of the main places. That's actually like 95% of all Xbox consoles sold were the United States and Central Europe. This is where they made their money. So the fact that now they're just abandoning the market, that to me signals the fact that they're probably shipping those systems to warehouses and stuff in Europe and selling single-digit units a month. It's just not worth the millions and millions of dollars they've invested into that region. So this is more than just, oh, maybe we'll sell them online. I think this is just them saying straight up, we are giving up. I want to take a look at the replies here. Oh, this is an Xbox. The death of the Xbox console. Now, this person brings up the Middle East. This is an interesting point because recently Microsoft did something similar in the Middle East where the brand is just non-existent. If you walk into a Best Buy in Dubai or something like that and say, hey, I want an Xbox, they're going to laugh in your face. They're just going to say, I don't know, buddy, go to eBay. You just can't really get that stuff there. It's that everybody there is either playing PlayStation, playing PC, or playing the Nintendo Switch 2. This is wild. It does make sense. Xbox is dead in many European countries. This is just so wild. Xbox is dead in Asian markets, it's dead in Europe, and it's slowly dying in the United States. It's still just weird to think about the fact that going from all these acquisitions, buying stuff like Activision for tens of billions of dollars, buying Bethesda, doing all this stuff, only to instantly fail, it's wild to watch how quickly Microsoft went from doing a victory lap and trying to buy their way to success to just telling everybody, all right, we quit, we give up, you win. Now, here's the other part of it that's extra crazy. Microsoft is planning major job cuts at the Xbox gaming division. Managers within Xbox are expecting substantial cuts to the entire group. Now, the reason this phrase the entire group is so important is because typically when you do a merger, when you buy a studio, there is some amount of layoffs. Even when PlayStation bought Bungie and stuff, typically you do a thing where you how did I phrase it? You cut the redundancies. You buy a studio, they've got a marketing department, or they have a really big accounting department. You don't need that anymore because now you're moving them in-house. PlayStation has their own marketing department. PlayStation has their own accountants and stuff. That's the kind of thing where typically they say, we're cutting the redundancies. But in this case, cutting the entire group says, this means shutting down studios. This means mass layoffs. This means people are straight up going to be gone. And it's weird because it has been almost exactly 1 year since the massive closures of last year. In May of 2024 is when they shut down stuff like Tango, which is the people that did Evil Within and Hi-Fi Rush. It's when they shut down Arcane Austin, the people that did Dishonored and Redfall and stuff like that. So the fact that 1 year later they're doing even more mass firings, I hate to make guesses, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think they're about to fire Ninja Theory, which is all the people that made Hellblade. I think they're all getting the boot. I think they're going to fire pretty much everybody that's not making the most peak, top selling stuff. And I don't just mean top subscription generators. I mean top selling stuff. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious, maybe I'm being sort of mean here, that obviously Game Pass has been a catastrophic failure. I've been talking about this for years and people always get mad at the comment section, but you just cannot get enough subscribers to break even. The current game market, making games is so damn expensive. Making games costs hundreds of millions of dollars of research and development and just marketing and Super Bowl commercials. It is so expensive. You can't just get 10 million or 20 million people paying $10 a month. That just does not break even. Clearly, Microsoft has realized if we cannot get people to buy games, even if it is on PC or on PlayStation, we need people to buy games, not just subscribe, buy games. And at this point, they're just laying everybody off because a lot of these projects are still expensive, not generating any revenue and not getting any upfront sales at all. God, I want to scroll down here. Let me see what some of the replies here are. Of course, a lot of memes about Xbox defenders. This is an Xbox, and it's just more layoffs. Jason Schreier, whenever there's bad news in the gaming industry. Oh, God. Not surprised. They just slap a logo on anything. This is the thing, is that right before this, they announced another, this is an Xbox. It's the Meta Quest. No hardware problems when you can put an Xbox logo and Xbox buttons wherever you want. This is the thing, is I do think that if you look at the numbers, they have cut almost 3,000 people just last year. This talk about, we're trying to ensure the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It'll benefit the company and the broader labor market. Video games will be better when we buy everything. It just shows the fact that, honestly, this is just not going to work. I kind of admire the fact that Xbox had a good catchphrase, the best deal in gaming. I think the idea behind Game Pass, it was functional for a time. The idea of, hey, you get $70 games for $10. That sounds fantastic, right? But it just was never actually going to last. It was always going to be this problem where even if you're getting a good deal, even if it's good for the gamers, it's not going to pan out in the long run. Oh, God. This will be the fourth big layoff of Xbox in the last 18 months, following 3 major cuts and the closure of several studios. Xbox is dead. You can spin it, you can phrase it, you can try to put some flowers on it, but at this point, I do think that most of the Xbox defenders have given up and bought a PlayStation 5 Pro, but to the last 10 people that are still ride or die for Team Green, man, it's time. It's time to hang it up, brothers. I mean, you can game on PC. I think PC gaming is great. Obviously, I'm a massive advocate specifically for the Steam Deck. I'm a big Steam Deck simp, but Microsoft, it's poisonous, to say the least. But how do you feel about Xbox? How do you feel about PlayStation? How do you feel about video games? And have you ever owned an Xbox? I'm going to bet that 99% of the audience, the last time you've owned an Xbox was probably an Xbox 360. But Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh, absolutely pathetic.